here. Another interview with my homeboy Kyle from retention.com. We're still at Retox Retreat. Kyle, we're going to rip some questions. You ready?
We are ready to roll.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What role does personalized customer experience play in retaining customers in the health and wellness space?
So I think it's really important to have a personalized experience because especially in health and wellness, there's so many options out there. And compared to B2B or SaaS or something like that, it's not as flashy, it's just software. Whereas like the CPG, it's in your hand, it's physical, it's a product, you're interacting with it. And so I feel like people enjoy that choice of product. And so when you can make it more of an experience that, gets into the minds of your customers and who you want actually buying your product and make it a more personalized experience for them, it just gets them really bought in with the brands itself. And so I think those are the brands that are going to do the best, or the ones that really think about like, hey, who's sitting on the other side of that screen ordering my product, or on sitting at that table, like enjoying whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Well, I think what's really interesting, even in this space right now, right? We're at Retox Retreat. This is a very like IRL experience, right? And when you think about retention and loyalty, you think about like, all right, I have this whole digital experience. We're going to get them. We're going to like retain them. We're going to do all the flows. We're going to get them into like the spaces that we need them digitally, right?
Right.
But this moment even is really rad because we have brands. We have, I don't actually know the count of like health and wellness brands, but there's so many here that are displaying their product. You're utilizing the product. And I think that that's even a piece of like that personalization of that customer experience is like going to events like this or doing those IRL brand experience things that also can get like, not just from an acquisition point of view, but like make you a health and wellness brand feel real.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like it's also just the timing of it all. Cause like, as much as we hate talking about COVID, like it was a thing that happened and a lot of people had to pivot and figure out like, hey, what am I going to do? There's a lot more time at home. A lot of people started brands during COVID, right? And they started like during times when you weren't out like interacting and doing things with people. And so I just think we're in this really awesome time where people, they aren't really in offices anymore. There's still that, even though we're not like in COVID, there's not, like people are still doing the work from home, right? And so we just really, really believe in this community side of it. If we can bring more community into the D2C space and help brands meet creators and meet partners and just create more of an environment. And like, less of a trade show, less of a, hey, I need to go sit in here and listen to sessions all day long. We want it to be like a much more organic experience that can improve your brain, your body, your business.
Yeah.
Bit of a day away, but at the same time, meet other people doing what you're doing. Because that's the cool part about it too, is the founders are also enjoying the other founders' products.
Right.
Right. And so it's cool.
Yeah. And I think the operators are also experiencing it too, like other people's products, and having those conversations in that community environment. So it's not even just like the Retox Retreat. It also is the dinners. It's also those experience-driven, events that you and I have been at, right? But I think those are really important because basically you're building the community, but you're also building a community of like people helping each other solve problems, and like talking about it and creating spaces where it's not so like, I'm on a panel and I'm going to do this thing and we're going to talk about this thing. No, like you're having organic conversations about the problems that you're trying to solve in the space right now.
Yeah. Or you're like sitting at a table and someone was like, all right, here's the first question. We're going to go around, it's like, it's much more organic. And I do think there is still like a need for all of that. Like there are still times like to have channels, to have those more structured dinners, but to just like be able to fit this into the community. Just felt like a good fit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, in any level, right? Like it could be big, small. It's so beneficial to just get like people together because you make a good point about COVID, right?
Yeah.
We all like just had to sit at home and work from home all the time. And all these people have these great ideas and they're developing these brands, but then you can't go and actually like experiment and show them in person, know? But I actually do that brings up one question that I have for you. What's your thought on like innovation in the health and wellness space post-COVID now? So all these people have like built all these brands, done all these things, but like, what do you think is like next on the health and wellness sector?
Where I really see things going off, and honestly, that kind of goes back to the origin of this event, and it's like a little more specific to your answer, but is this whole like mocktail and like less alcohol and people like revolving around health and wellness activities rather than drinking activities. And I mean, I think the trend is going to be more of like those mocktails and CBD infused items and just really more of that health and wellness type space flourishing, like to the point where we're going to be going to bars and it's like you have like alcohol and like the non-alcoholic drinks are going to become like much more, like way more options.
Yeah.
So I really think for the health and wellness, like that part is going to keep going because it's like, I don't know, honestly, it's like when I started specifically in this space like a couple of years ago, I was like taking people out and I'm like, oh, hey, like, let's go, you guys want me to get you a round of drinks? And then like I look at the bar tab at the end of the night from the dinner we do and there's like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's cool to see that it's going that way. But at the same time, I'm kind of imagining, like, I don't know if you remember, like back when like cigarettes were starting to like phase out and there's like some like restaurants or places like coffee shops that would have that little like glass box that people like had to smoke in. That was the only price.
But yeah, disgusting.
Yeah. So I think it's going to evolve to the point where there's like entire like non-alcoholic bars, kind of like, there's like vegetarian and vegan spots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But very specific.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you guys like putting on this Retox Retreat because it's like I'm learning a lot. I'm getting to have a lot of good conversations. I get to hang out with you and like experience so many different brands. And it's just been a really dope community building space. So
hey, thanks for coming out. Thanks for interviewing me. And ask me one more question from your list. I just want to see what else you had on there.
Man. All right. Hold on. Hold camera. Let's see. What's the recipe to loyalty, retention, and CX?
If I knew that, I'd be asking you that one. That's your one. I put together fun events.
Okay, quick one. Actually, it is community building. It's community building on both on the digital space and the IRL space, especially in this sector in particular. I think we're going to see from a retention perspective for any brand, like whether you're a CPG, whether you're health and wellness, like, in the CPG, sorry, that didn't make any sense, but we get what I'm saying. I think that what's so important right now is not just the retention piece of it, but building the loyalty piece of it. And I mean, like, so silly, right? But like grocery store frequent buyer cards, right? Like doing that in the digital space, doing that in like IRL, like making people like continuously come to you is going to be so important for like what's happening right now.
Yeah. I mean, even for us, like that's like the leading message we're kind of going with right now. Like we kind of tell everyone, like, hey, we bring shoppers back to buy. Like our biggest thing is that all these brands do all this effort to bring all this traffic to their website. And, the website only actually captures about 15% of the traffic that comes to the site. Yeah. And the other 85% never receive your cart abandonment, product abandonment, browse abandonment flows. And I don't know, like I'm the type of person where if I go to a site, I'll go like check my promotions tab later and kind of see if there's something in there.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a gap there. And that's kind of why we exist, because it's so hard to be like a profitable, great CPG D2C brand. And like they pay and put all this effort and money and time into trying to get the customers in the first place, and you're trying to get those repeat buyers. So we're just like, you deserve to have more money come from your website from all the effort you had to put in there.
Yeah.
And so that's our whole thing as well. Like, let's get more shoppers back to your website, bring more shoppers back to buy.
Yeah.
And help you retain more of your customers for a longer period of time.
Yeah. I love it. Well, shout out to redtension.com.
Shout out.
Who am I?
What are you doing right now?
So many things. Many things, Kyle.
Let's take a minute. What are you doing right now? You got a lot of things going on. So I was going to say Feastables, and I'm like, nah.
No, left Feastables in December.
X-Feastable.
X-Feastable.
It's like an X-Uber.
I know. OG, okay? Employee 4 of Feastables.
Do you get like a gold badge for that?
I got scars on my heart is what I got. I am now the founder of Open Lake Collective, which is a CPG marketing agency. We do everything from brand strategy, consumer insights, retention, life cycle, and CX. And it's 3 of us OG Feastables people running it. And then I am also the host of The Juice with Jess, a CX and marketing podcast.
Because you are the hostess with the mostest, and that's why we're here doing this now.
Let's go, baby. All right, dog. I appreciate you.
Thank you.